Hi and welcome to episode number 554 with whatsforchow.com and another episode in our series Serious Distilling with Brewcraft, Still Spirits and Grainfather. In our previous distilling episode we unboxed and assembled the mighty Grainfather. Today we're going to put it through its paces as we mash a full load of grain to make a classic all-grain whisky. To make this simple whisky we need 3 kilograms of peated malt and 4 kilograms of pale malt. You will also need a sachet of Still Spirits Whiskey Distillers yeast, a Still Spirits turbo clearing kit and 4 kilograms of sugar or dextrose. Before starting, make sure the thermometer housing is properly fastened and that the joint at the base of the recirculation riser pipe is secure. Add 20 litres of water to the pot, set the temperature on the controller to 68 Celsius and flip the switch for the element to boil. To get everything going, flip the main switch at the base of the unit as well. Pour the sugar into the pot and give it a good stir until totally dissolved. Position the extendable overflow pipe in the boiler sleeve. Place the sleeve in the boiler and fit the overflow stopper to the top of the pipe. This prevents grain from spilling into the overflow pipe as we pour it into the pot. Pour the grain into the pot in small batches, stirring between each addition to make sure all of the grain is wet and that there are no dry clumps. Once all of the grain is added, remove the overflow stopper and insert the top mesh plate. Press the plate down until it just touches the mesh. Don't go any further as compressing the mesh will impede circulation of the wort through the grain. Seat the overflow inlet sleeve onto the overflow pipe. This will keep the perforated plate level. Place the lid on the boiler and attach the recirculation bridge, making sure the tube goes through the hole in the lid. Turn on the pump. By this stage the temperature will have stabilized at around 68 Celsius, and this process needs to continue as is for 60 minutes. Set the switch at the base of the unit to the mashing position, as well as the switch on the controller. At first the overflow will be very apparent. As the grain gets saturated, more and more of the wort will drop through the perforated plate and will filter through the grain instead of going directly through the overflow. After 60 minutes, turn off the pump. Allow the recirculation bridge to drain and remove the recirculation bridge. Remove the lid and use the stainless steel handle to lift the boiler sleeve upwards. Swivel the boiler sleeve and rest the small triangular feet on the rest inside the top of the boiler. At this stage the grain will have settled considerably. Press the upper perforated plate down until it sits on top of the grain. Pour in 5 litres of water to rinse or sparge the grain. Do this a little at a time, as flooding the top of the grain will cause the process to block. Once all of the water has been added, allow the grain to drain for 60 minutes. Once the draining has completed, reattach the recirculation bridge with the bridge facing outwards. Place the plastic tube into the fermentation vessel and turn on the pump. Once all the wort is in the fermentation vessel, allow this to cool to 35 Celsius, then add the Still Spirits whiskey yeast. Give it a good stir, then screw on the lid with the airlock in place. Transfer the fermentation vessel to a warm, shady place to ferment. Depending on the ambient temperature, this could take anything from 7 to 10 days to complete. To purge the pump on the Grainfather, fill the boiler with 15 litres of water. Place an empty container under the recirculation pipe and switch on the pump. This will effectively wash out the pump and the recirculation riser and bridge. Rinse out the boiler and wash the inside with a mild detergent. Rinse again and you're done. Join us next week for part 2 of this whisky saga, when we clarify the wort and distill this in the Grainfather using the alembic lid. Thanks for joining us today. Please subscribe, like and share this video, and we'll see you again tomorrow.